everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do a St. Patrick's Day look, or a green look, because really I'm going to try to make this as wearable as possible, or at least mostly wearable, and some things you can change up to make it more wearable for non-St. Patrick's Day. But I just thought this would be nice. You know, a lot of people are looking for green eye looks on a regular basis, and then with St. Patrick's Day a lot of people have a tendency to go more of that direction. Now I did want to try to stick with one palette, so I am going to mostly use the Huda Beauty Obsessions palette in Emerald. However, there are two things that are not in this palette that I know I will need for this look. So not really that you need another palette with, let me phrase that, not that you need to have a specific palette with the colors that I'm going to pull, but I am going to show you what I pulled and why. So this is what the Huda Beauty palette looks like, and you'll see it's an all green palette. Like even this shade is very green. It's very pretty, but the two shades that I know I'm going to need, which you can get in any palette, I have so many of them in other palettes, I just grabbed one that I knew had both, and that is a matte like cream shade, and I will just use this to like set my eye primer, so that way then the colors blend a little bit easier and they don't get like stuck on the primer. The other thing that I was looking for was kind of a warm like brown shade, just to kind of warm up the look. Again, I just grabbed, this is the Makeup Revolution white chocolate palette, or yeah, like naked chocolate bar palette, and I like this. It had both the shades that I was looking for in this look, but truthfully I have other palettes that have these in it as well. This is just the one I grabbed because I mean it's got a cream, you know, white matte shade, and it's, which you can't even see on camera. So, I mean, you can get a warm brown. I mean, even if you wanted to go more cool tone with this, you could also pull a cool tone brown for this look as well. So really you can pick any palette for those two colors. Otherwise, for the greens, we're gonna be focusing on that. I will say, looking at this palette, and I'm sure some of the colors that I'm using, I've seen in other palettes as well. Let me see. Like I know ColourPop has a shade very similar to this matte one, which we'll probably use to deepen up the corner. This shade seems very similar to Corduroy that's in the Emily the Wants palette. And then, you know, like some of these green shimmers, like this dark green shimmer, they make in so many palettes. This one reminds me a lot of the Anastasia Prism palette. You know, this one is just more of like a pressed green glitter. So some of these you really can dupe into other palettes. I know ColourPop has a palette coming out, and to me it looks very similar to this, other than it has like more of a brown shade. So I think it like doesn't have almost like a pressed glitter shade, so imagine this but with like a transitional brown, I feel like is really the only difference. So there's a lot of palettes that have come out that have more greens in them now. You know, you probably could get something even similar with the Juvia's Place Blush Tribes, and then again I feel like you can, you know, as singles you could get these in a lot of palettes as well. So I just decided that this would be easier for me to pull this because I had it, it's in my collection already. It has a lot of the shades that I was looking for versus grabbing like this palette, this palette, this palette. So let's go ahead and get started. I am gonna zoom you in and get ready to go. So I'm zoomed in, pinned my hair back. I'm gonna do my brows with my e.l.f. brow pencil really quick before we go ahead and get started. I like to, and I don't have any face makeup on, just because I haven't really used this palette a whole lot and I don't really remember what the fallout is, and I didn't want it really staining my face, so I figured I'll just put that stuff on afterwards. But I'm just gonna go in and do my brows. I love this brow pencil. I think for the price it's really good. You know, it's not going to be like a micro tip pencil, so if you need something that's a little more precise, it's not, you know, might not be the most helpful. But like for me, since I already kind of have a lot of brows, it just makes it quick to just go through and fill them in. have less brow on this side. Like, it's just more patchy. So this one always takes me a little bit longer. And then I always just go through and just like rebrush them out because I feel like it helps just like make sure the product doesn't clump in one place. So, like I said, I really like this. I use this brow pencil quite a bit. Just trying to close it up. Alright. And of course, I'm trying to use this up. I noticed for the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, since that just got announced, that they have the Urban Decay like potion primer or whatever it is that people rave about. I may actually pick that up just to try it and see what all the fuss is about. There's a few things. I think the hardest thing is I don't get too hyped on it in the beginning because I do feel like with that sale, hang on, let me grab my brush. I feel like with that sale, a lot of times the products that like really jump out at me are their online exclusive products, and they don't announce those until like a day or two before for some of the days. So I kind of don't start really thinking about what I'm gonna buy until I see that. And it's funny because I have a lot of people complain about the online exclusive, but if you're a platinum member, I think it is it platinum? Which I mean, I don't even buy as much makeup as other people, and I always hit that every year. Even my mom hits platinum every year. But it's free shipping, so like you can buy the one item, and sometimes, to me, it's easier than going to the store, and you know, it's like just stick it in your cart and they'll send it to you for nothing. So I don't know. I do that a lot with their 21 Days of Beauty products because a lot of times, like with those days, I only want one product anyway. Like I'm not doing a whole bunch of products. And I am excited that this year they have some products that I haven't seen in their 21 Days of Beauty. Alright, so I'm just going to grab a fluffy brush. So I'm just going to grab my Sonia Kashuk brush, and again, I'm just going in with a, warm brown shade just to do my crease. So I'm going to do that first. This is just going to kind of give my look some definition. I think sometimes when you do green looks, or just colored looks in general, sometimes it's nice to kind of anchor it with more of a neutral shade because then I feel like it makes the color pop a little bit more. But if you're really going for something that's like wow green, then you may want to use like a greener, blend a green into your crease as well. But it is a very dramatic look. So the fact that this is going to be a look that I'm probably going to wear when I teach this week, I need it to be a little less crazy. Alright, give me 1 second. I need to fix my lighting. So I need to fix my lighting because I have light coming in on this side but not on the other side, and it was making it very hard to see this eye and how blended it was. Or not was. Okay, so I just went in and did that. Now I don't really need this palette, but I am going to use it for the mirror. And then now I'm going to go in with this like green shade, and I'm going to take it on the same brush. It's fine because I have other fluffy brushes. I can kind of blend stuff out. And I'm going to kind of put this mostly in the outer corner, but kind of start to blend it in underneath that ridge of my eye. Now, I will say, these take some buildup in this palette. So it's going to take a little bit more work than you would with like a normal shade. So I always say, like, when you're working with harder shades that blend like this, dip in a little bit and really keep it a loose here so you can get like a lighter blend and you're not kind of hitting it on your eye so hard, because it'll make the blending a little bit easier, and then just keep building because it'll give you a better like blended look instead of trying to put a lot on all at once. And then trying to blend it. Okay. So now I'm going to do the other eye. This is a pretty green shade. It's going to look a little bit less green just because I did put that brown in my lid. But again, I was just kind of doing that to add some warmth to this look and make it a little bit more versatile. Again, you could go in and just blend this out and do like a very green look. But it's definitely going to be a lot more like, you know, intense. So you have to kind of, I feel like, decide where you're going. You know, if I was going to a St. Patrick's Day parade, it would probably be a little bit more about that life. You know, I wouldn't care if it looked a little crazier. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this dark, like army green shade on a more precise brush. So I think I'm gonna take it on this like Wet n Wild, which may be dirty, Wet n Wild brush, and I'm just gonna dip into that darker shade. And then just take that right along the lash line and into this outer V. And just kind of work that into the V a little bit, just to add some depth. Really just trying to hit it as much to this lower lash line as possible, and then working it back out. So you're gonna kind of get, you know, just a little bit more of a dimensional look. And then just to kind of make sure I have a good blend, I'm gonna go a little bit back into that like warm brown shade and the white shade mixed together, and just kind of gonna blend the edges. Not that this is still gonna be like not a crazy look, but alright. And then just to kind of jazz up that green, I'm gonna take a pretty precise, like dense brush and go back into that bright green shade and just really pop it as much as possible. Just like that, just kind of tapping it in. Alright, so you're gonna get that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a couple of colors. So I'm probably going to use a little bit of this dark one in the outer corner, or this one, not really sure, whatever. I feel like that one's more of the green I'm looking for. And then I'll probably do this in the middle and then this in the inner corner, like more inner corner of my eye. Or maybe this, I don't know. We'll see. We're going to see how this goes. So I'm going to grab my glitter glue though, to make sure that this is just really held on well, and I just use the next one, and then just dab that on the eyelid, like so. Grab like a flat brush that I can pick up that product with it. So I'm going to just use my e.l.f. one. I think I'm going to do the one in the middle first. So I'm going to use that and just get it on the brush really good. And then just put that on. Ooh, the shade is so pretty. Oh my god, I'm I may have to wear this shade like all the time. That is stunning. It's so pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to take that darker, like emeraldy shade and just kind of put it right here. Just to kind of see what I mean with the fallout. The darker colors will do it to you. Alright, and then do the other side. Just like that. And then I actually think I'm going to take a smaller brush to get into that inner corner a little bit better. So I'm gonna take this one from, I think this is an Ulta blush, and I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade right here, and we're gonna put that just in the inner corner. So really it's about taking like the three and just kind of making a gradual green. Now I could have taken this middle one, that green shade, and just kind of used it all over and just mixed it in. But again, I'm just kind of giving it more of a gradual green look. So it's going to look a little bit like that. And then I'm going to take my blending brush and I'm just going to gently blend the edges. Just like so. Alright, so that looks... I mean, other than the underneath, which we'll talk about in a minute, I actually really like that. Alright, so I'm going to take this brush and just kind of sweep away as much of this as I can. And then I'm going to go off camera, just because I don't want this video to be crazy long. I'm going to go off camera and like put my foundation stuff. I will let you know all the products that I use, and then we'll finish the eye look. So I will be right back. Okay, so I went and put on my primer, my foundation, my like blush bronzer, and my blush and my bronzer, sorry, and then my powder. So let me show you what I did. So for my primer, I used the No Poreblem primer from Touch in Soul, and then for my foundation, I used the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation, and I'm in the shade Ivory L2. And then, sorry, why I ever put everything so far away, I don't know. Then I used the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, which I'm almost out of. And then my Maybelline Loose Powder Fit Me, and then I set everything with that, including my face, just because this foundation is a little bit more on the dewy side, and I just kind of feel like it moves a little bit if I don't set it. So, and then of course I used my Pixi color corrector because I do all the time, and I used the Bahama Mama bronzer that is from the Balm. I have like a little sample size and I really like it. I've been trying to use it up for a while. I probably will buy the full size. And then my blush today is the e.l.f. blush in, what is this? Mellow Mauve. I always think it's Marvelous Mauve, but it's Mellow Mauve, which is just nice and pretty and natural. I don't even think I put that much on, honestly. Let's put a little bit more. Let's try to hide the fact that I'm so pale. Okay. So that's just kind of those products. I didn't put on highlight yet, just because I will probably use it in this eye look a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is kind of do the bottom and the lower lash line. And because I'm trying to do more fun, I'm going to go a little bit out of the box with this. But you could easily just leave the look like this, put a little bit of like a highlight on the inner corner, put on eyeliner, and be done. But again, we're going to jazz it up a little bit. So I'm going to take the NYX retractable eyeliner pencil in aqua green, and I'm going to use this on my under, like on my under whatever this is, the under the lower lash line. I'm like, what is that called? I'm just gonna get like pretty much tight line with this down there. And then I'm gonna do the other side as well. I hate tightlining because it moves my contacts. All right. So I'm just kind of doing that to give myself some of like a little bit of a base for when I do the rest of it. So then I'm gonna take probably my e.l.f. brush, and I'm gonna go in to this darker shade on the corner, like just for down here, and kind of meet them together and smudge it out. So that way it's got more of like a connected look. Okay, and I'm gonna do that on the other side. Just like that. And like I said, it's just gonna give you more of like a sharp connected look. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of the green, bright green, and the little less green shade, and just kind of take that along pretty close to where my lower lash line is for the rest of it. And then I'm gonna go back into that warm shade, that warm brown shade mixed with the tan matte shade that I used, and just gonna go underneath that a little bit just to kind of blend it in, and then up to like my lash line corner lengths. Now, again, depending on where you're wearing this, I probably wouldn't do the lower lash line like this. You know, if you're not going for more, if you need to tone it down a little bit, I would just do like the brown on the bottom, and I maybe wouldn't darken up the corner as much. So some things to think about, but so far that's what we got. This corner just seems really weird to me, so let's see. I'm gonna take this one because it's got more of like an edge to it because it's like pinched together. Also just gonna alright, kind of blend it out a bit. Now, I, again, kind of want to be over the top and do glitter, but I don't think I'm going to. So I think I'm going to take my highlight. We'll see how this looks, but I'm going to take my highlight. This is the highlight in Rodeo Drive, and I am going to put this, because it is more of a gold, I'm going to use this as my inner corner highlight. And then also just meet that bottom liner line as well. I just think that's like nice pop because the gold is going to kind of make it stand out. Now, again, the bottom lash line, I think if you wanted to keep it simpler, I would do more of just that warm brown on the bottom. I'd probably do less of a darker shade in the inner corner. But if you're kind of going over the top, like I am, like if you're going out for St. Patrick's Day weekend, the other thing you can do is I'm going to take a little bit more of that glitter primer. And I am actually going to use it on the little brush that I tapped my inner corner highlight in, and I'm going to take the Stila Glitters and Glows in Smoky Storm, which is definitely more of a gold shade. Can also use more of like a glitter for this. And I'm going to, I put a little dot and then I'm just going to tap it in the corner a bit, just to add like ever so touch of like another little, you know, it's supposed to be like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's kind of what we're going with. So I'm going to do it on the other side. And again, I just take the little wand part, put it right in, just touch it in the inner corner just to get some of the product off, and then take just a pretty small brush. I actually got this one from Michael's. And then you're just gonna kind of pat it and move it around just to get the glitter blended in. So it's gonna look like that. Okay, so truthfully we actually are going somewhere for St. Patrick's Day weekend, so this is gonna be the look that I do. And then where's my highlight? Where did I put it? Okay, so now I'm going to take my highlight and I'm actually going to just put this on my cheeks. Oh. Finish it off. I realize I still have the plastic on this mirror and I cannot find the edge to like get it to come off. So I swear this mirror is just going to be covered with plastic forever. You actually see like a mirror so I can see what I'm doing and stop guessing. Alright, so I just went ahead and did that. Oh, and I'm going to take a little bit of that same highlight just under my brow bone as well. Even though this still has glitter on it now that I'm realizing it. Whoops. Oh well. You know, sometimes you just need to be extra glittery. And I feel like if you're going to be extra glittery, St. Patrick's Day is a good day to do that. Alright, so I just kind of went a little crazy with that highlight. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on regular liner, mascara, and then I will come back to do the lip. So I'm just going to kind of fast forward through this on camera. I'm also going to clean up a little bit, so I may cut away for a second because I got a lot of stuff in my lap right now. went in, I just used my Makeup Revolution Renaissance Flick eyeliner and my L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara. For lips, I really wanted to stick with more of like a brown lip with like some pizzazz, because again, I'm over the top. I would recommend just kind of doing like a neutral nude lip with this look, just so that, you know, you're focusing more on the green eyeshadow than you are the lip. So for me to use the brown, my lips are really dry, so let me put on some chapstick real quick. Candy, these are their Velvet Mousse. Mine is in Mimosa Blossom. I really like this. I like the formula. The colors are a little strange, and I feel like they need more of a nude. But I do like the way they feel. I've had this one a really long time though, and I feel like it's starting to like go bad a little bit. Alright, so I'm gonna give that a minute and kind of let that dry. These do take a little while to dry down. It's not gonna dry down completely because it's more of like a moussey formula, but it will dry down a little bit. And so before I put on a gloss, I don't want it to be like too goopy. So we're just gonna... Okay, and then I'm just going to take my Dose of Colors gloss in Goalz because I want just kind of some gold sparkle in the middle. Just like that. All right. So this is my finished look. What do we think? Some green eyes, some brown lips. So this is my finished look, my green St. Patrick's Day look. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you will come back and watch some more videos. Have a great day. Bye.